Hi everybody, Mark here with Couch Camino 2026, and I apologize, I'm late. We had our big holiday party this Saturday down on the farm, so we had about, I don't know, 18, 20 people down here, so things got busy and I got busy, so sorry. We are 95 days from leaving for my 6th Camino de Santiago, and today we're going to talk a little bit about bars. Seems like a silly topic for one of these, but I comment so much on about bars day to day and how they work into the Camino that I thought I should probably do a little something real quick, little short thing. I make it sound sometimes like the Camino is just a 500-mile pub crawl. For some it is, but for most it's not. And bars are surprisingly an integral part of your Camino experience. So we'll get into that here in just a second. So, like always, if you have any questions about anything pertaining to the Camino, not just this topic, feel free to leave a question down below in the comment sections, or you can email me your private question at askmeacaminoquestion@gmail.com, and I will get back to you. So I want to address something that a couple people have emailed me specifically about. I left it out of my technology on the Camino video, and I really should have included it. So I'm going to talk about it here now. And again, a real good reason why you should go back and watch the older content if you've just joined the channel, because I forget stuff and I just work it into following videos. So it kind of helps to watch all of them because I'm not very good at this. So the question I've gotten is about CPAP machines. Now in 2022, I traveled with somebody who used a CPAP, and we had rooms for the most part, so it was never a big deal. The questions that come up about CPAP is the electricity need and the noise. Let's get the easy one out of the way. Noise. Ain't nobody going to care about the noise your CPAP makes when there's an albergue full of snoring pilgrims. Your CPAP is real low on the noise list. Slamming doors, snoring pilgrims, don't worry about that. The electricity. If you are you have to have that CPAP every single night to get sleep, or you're going to have some sort of medical problem. You absolutely need to check with the albergue when you're checking in to say, I have a CPAP. Is there electricity at the bunk? If not, you can politely say, okay, this one's not going to be for me. I'm going to find another albergue. Or if it's in your budget, you might need to upgrade to rooms periodically that you're going to have electricity access to it. So most of the albergues now, it seems like they're trending towards electricity at every outlet, particularly the newer albergues, certainly, and the more private run albergues, although there are some exceptionally well-run municipal and parochial church-run albergues. But the newer albergues tend to have electricity at the outlets. If you get into a room and you're there with a bunch of pilgrims and you notice the bunk that you were going to take doesn't have electricity, but somebody else's does, or somebody very near, you might consider saying, hey, I need to run a CPAP. Could I possibly change with you? If that's not acceptable to them. An easy way to navigate that would be when you get there into the EU, get a 2-way or a 3-way electrical splitter. You're going to be able to find those at hardware stores or electronic stores. Anywhere you see vacuums and coffee pots in the window, probably going to have those. My buddy Kelly did that way back when we were on one of our trips. It works fine. That way you have multiple outlets to be able to plug multiple things in. And if you do need to share an outlet with somebody, bringing your own splitter, not a bad idea. That way you can say, hey, look, plenty for everybody. So there's that. If you have something like a CPAP, you're going to have to be flexible. It's just part of the Camino experience, is working around those little issues. But I'm guessing thousands, if not tens of thousands of people are using CPAPs on the Camino every year, and they do just fine. So, be flexible and you'll be okay. I'm going to lead off with my favorite thing this time, because I've got a fairly short thing and I'm going to be talking about food a lot. So I want to get this in first. So my favorite thing is nothing I have with me here. It is a YouTube channel. Due to weird prohibitions, I can't just put a link down below, but this is a channel called Spain on a Fork. And Spain on a Fork, I found this channel just randomly looking through Spain stuff, and he does 3 to 5, maybe sometimes more, uploads per week of basic mom and pop, really good Spanish home cooking. And what's great about it is, if you're not familiar with Spanish cuisine, as a matter of fact, I've had people say, I don't know if I would like Spain because I don't like Mexican food that much. Spain and Mexico are not the same. Spanish culture and Central South American, Mexican part of North American culture, it's not the same as Spanish. Those are very different. The food styles are very different. If you watch the Spain on a Fork channel, get a feel for those recipes. My wife and I will sit on the couch and we'll watch those, and we're like, hey, we had that and blah, blah, blah. I've had that. We've had that. It gives you a great idea of what you're going to be running into, and you'll be a little less surprised when you get to Spain and figure out that the food is absolutely not just all paella and tapas. There's a wide amount of great food in Spain that you should take advantage of. So, Spain on a Fork. Please take a look. His great stuff is great. Subscribe. They're short. They're like between 7 and maybe max 10 or 5 and 10 minutes. Really easy to digest and good content. So let's talk about bars. Why do I reference bars so often? For the most part, every little Spanish village, town, neighborhoods within towns and cities have a neighborhood bar. And this is an all-purpose meeting space for the people of that community. In the mornings, we'll just go through a day. In the mornings, they may open as early as 6 o'clock. That's the place where people, farmers, business people, teachers, school kids, everybody, they go to meet their friends, say hi, get a cup of coffee, get a glass of fresh squeezed orange juice. It's really the only way it comes in Spain at these places. They are fantastic. You'll see a big orange mangling machine. We call them Huggalator 2000s. They look like that. They just dump a big crate of oranges in the top, and these things split the oranges, juice them, give you the juice. I think probably Whole Foods has them, that sort of thing. But seems like every little bar in Spain has these things, and they make fantastic juice. So take advantage of that. People in the mornings, they're getting their morning papers. They're getting a light breakfast, meaning a piece of toast with butter and jam, or ham, tomato, and olive oil, a little pastry, something very light. They tend not to do heavier breakfasts. You maybe stand at the bar, you have a little something, you say hi to everybody, you go off to work. The bar is where you do that, because there aren't coffee shops. There's not Starbucks everywhere. So in every bar, there's a big espresso machine. So they're making espressos, they're making coffees, they're making café con leche, whatever. That's how you begin your day. So lunchtime rolls around. The coffee machine's still running. They're serving drinks. Cokes and bottled iced teas and juices and whatever else. But then they're going to have some light sandwiches. Maybe some leftover stuff that they had for breakfast. And we're going to do a whole breakfast, lunch, dinner episodes coming up in the spring. They are, again, all purpose. People are hanging out. They're saying hi. They're meeting everybody. The kids at lunch will go to these bars and, hang out. I'm sorry if you can hear, my chickens are making noise. I'm in the greenhouse today. My chickens are right behind that wall and they're squawking a lot. So yeah, your light lunches, something to drink, if you're up for a beer or a glass of wine, great, go ahead. Mid-afternoon, About 4 or 5 o'clock, you're going to see at these bars, the older generation guys are going to come in. They're going to have a little drink of wine or a little bit of brandy or moonshine, and they're going to play cards. They're going to play dominoes. They're going to argue. They're going to shout at each other. There's chaos. It's amazingly fun. Um, People in the afternoon, they may just come down for a glass of vermouth. It's a break in the afternoon before the stuff of the evening happens. And these bars in every little village, town, and neighborhood are an integral part of that. In the evenings, you're going to find kind of the same light menu that was there for lunch, but at some point, they may offer a dinner menu where you're going to get heavier dishes. Sometimes it's a 3-course prefix menu. Sorry. There's all sorts of difference, and you just need to be able to ask the bartender, is there a big dinner later? And if there's not, there's not, but typically you're going to be able to find some food there. Now, why is this important for the pilgrim? As pilgrims, our time schedule, particularly during the day, in the summer, really, is totally off everybody else's. If you've been walking for 7, 8 hours, you kind of want to get down and get some food in you and maybe get to bed by 7, 8 o'clock. In big parts of Spain, even rural Spain, dinner doesn't begin until 8 or 9 o'clock. So having a place you can get a little bit of food, some drinks, being a Coke, an Aquarius, a rehydration drink, water, whatever you need, having these bars there is really handy. So in the mornings, it's your coffee and breakfast. If your albergue doesn't have that sort of thing. Morning, coffee and breakfast. At lunch or any time you need a break, it's a place to get a bocadillo, a sandwich, or ensalada mixta, a mixed salad, or something like that for lunch. It's also a very good chance to use the restroom. But remember, be polite. If you're going to expect to use the restroom, please purchase something. Just a can of Coke, a can of Aquarius, a bit of coffee, something like that. It's just the polite thing to do. You are using their facilities. And for breakfast, lunch, dinner, I guess you could, but breakfast and lunch, keep in mind, if you see at breakfast they have a whole bunch of bocadillos, sandwiches, out, you could say bocadillo para llevar, meaning to go, and they'll wrap it for you, piece of foil, paper bag, and you can take it with you. Same thing at lunch. If you see something, a sandwich or something you want to take with you, pieces of fruit, just ask to go. They're going to wrap it up for you, and you can have a little snacko as you go. And these places are everywhere on the Camino. The one caveat being in the wintertime, particularly along the Camino route, the main Camino route, they do close down. January, when I was there in 2020, about 60 to 70% were closed for the holidays and for the dead part of the season. Although in their defense, I did see a whole lot of work going on. It seemed like they were doing a lot of remodeling, deep cleaning, replacing upholstery and that kind of stuff. So I think that's part of it as well. It's the low season, so they take that time to kind of upgrade and do maintenance. Not a bad thing. Again, in the afternoon, as you're walking, being able to stop in, you've got 5 miles to go. You need a sugar hit. You need something in you. You need a bathroom. You need to sit down. That bar is going to be a lifesaver. So how do we find the bars? Well, honestly, they're kind of everywhere. As you're walking along the streets, along the main drag, keep an eye out to either side. You're going to see sandwich boards, the A-frame boards. And they're going to have, they're going to be like a sponsored beer sign, ice cream, Coca-Cola. I wish I could remember the name of the company. There's a company that makes pre-made, pre-frozen, take and bake paellas for the bars. They're terrible. I eat them all the time. They're absolutely terrible. Nobody should ever eat them. Leave them for me. They're sort of like the gas station burrito of Spain. They're just junk food that everybody hates, but they're everywhere, and it's a reliable source of protein and carbs. So I just like them. They're goofy. But you see those signs out there. they'll often have specials listed on them. They'll have information, just say, opening hours, whatever. So just keep a lookout for those little billboard looking signs, or the A-frame sandwich board signs everywhere. They're hard to miss. You're not going to have any trouble locating them. Sorry, my contractors just drove up. You can't see because it's behind you, but right over there is the new house, and today they're hanging siding. So anyway, that's about it for bars. They are your one-stop utility go-to for all things food, beverage, alcohol, and using a restroom. Oh, don't forget to get a stamp. Most of them do have a sello, a stamp for your Camino passport. And I really need to drag a Camino passport out and show you one of those guys. Maybe I'll do a whole passport thing. I don't know. So anyway, like I said, this is a short one for once. Just wanted to touch on this because it has come up. I've said it so many times that I had a viewer reach out to me privately and say, hey, you keep mentioning the bars. I'm a little concerned. I'm in recovery and recently had an issue. Do you think I'm going to have problem avoiding trigger spots like bars on the Camino? And I told him flat out, it's really hard. Because what we would consider a cafe or a coffee bar in the U.S., they serve alcohol. There's a rack of liquors. There's a beer tap. So yeah, it can be hard. Do I think you could do it? Absolutely. And my advice was him to go online, ask the Facebook forums, go on to the Camino de Santiago forum that Casa Ivar runs, and ask if there are any individuals who would be willing to be part of a sober traveling group during that period of time. And I hope he did well. I haven't heard back from him. I think he might actually be there now. So, best wishes. I hope everything turns out okay. But, let us know how it turned out. So that's about it for bars. Yeah, not terribly in depth because it's a bar. Oh, I should have mentioned that the food you're going to find at the bars it's going to go in between terrible packaged factory food like the paellas and amazing food. I mentioned the place in Navarrete that has the big sports bar sign above it. That is a bar. It's a little mom and pop bar with 4 tables on the inside and a terrace outside, but it is some of the best food I have ever had. Their food rivals some of the Michelin star restaurants I've had the pleasure of eating at over the years. It's just amazing. So don't count them out for just roaming around and getting something in the evenings as well, because there's some amazing food in those places. So that's about it. Thanks for watching. Just a channel update a little bit. I am going to be out of town in the second week of January. I've got a bee conference that I have to go to for a week, trade show and education thing. So I think that week I'm going to talk about training. And I began my training since I realized I have that week where I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot, because even though that convention center is big and I'm going to get 15 to 20,000 steps in those days, it's not quite the same. So I started my training yesterday and did 5 miles out here on the gravel roads on the farm. And today I started my Camino specific weight training, which we'll talk about both those things that second week in January, and we'll cover that stuff. So not terribly complex. Next week, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. We're going to do day in a life. We're going to do, let's sort of pantomime or role play. Okay, let's get up in the morning, get our stuff packed, get on the road, get through the phases of our day, and then end up in our albergue for the evening. And we'll kind of role play what that's like and the stuff we have to consider throughout the day. So I'll try to get something written for that and get that to you in a timely fashion. Like I said, I'm sorry I'm late again. I think I've been more late one time, but between the big holiday party we had and the guys working on the house, like we got in 3 days, they got all the windows and doors in, got everything sealed to the point where I could get a heater going. So it was an exciting few days, but they're doing fantastic work. And someday I'll take you guys over there and give you a look. So anyway, for everybody, have a happy Christmas. And if you just got done with the holiday, I hope everybody had a great Hanukkah with their families. And we will see you definitely before the first of the year. So take care, everybody.